Is it not almost a crime that we tolerate such poor level of leadership and these kinds of bad behaviors?
It is. It is the reason that, the country finds itself in a situation where in 15 years, since 2000, we calculated the numbers. Since 2000, Nigeria has earned about $690 billion from oil alone. $690 billion. So you got to ask your question, does the level of development in this society, whether development of critical infrastructure, development of world-class human capital through education and other forms of training, development of institutions, do they in any way mirror that scale of earning by our country? I mean, what did it take to rebuild the entire Europe as part of the Marshall Plan? It's not even up to 1/3 of the kind of money we earned in 15 years. And look at us. Our human development indicators are appalling. Our critical infrastructure barely exists. So that's the cost. It's the cost of that grand level of corruption that we have come to tolerate.
Corruption is clearly a problem, and these probes are shedding some light onto the problem. Some have argued that the probes have not gone, should not be limited to the last administration. How far back should we go?
I think we should ultimately go as far back as our risk management analysis would lead us, in the sense that the kind of capacity that you require in order to deal with all the corruption that's taking place in this society, we would not be able to assemble. So you have to do some level of risk management in analyzing the critical ones, because you want to be able to have some quick prosecution and conviction. That sends an important signal that you're shifting the incentive regime in the society, and that bad behavior will cost you, good behavior will reward you. So in doing that, you need to be able to find the key ones, and often they are usually the most current ones, because people can relate to those ones. So as you gain success in being able to prosecute conclusively and have people jailed, you will go as far back as possible.
How do we change the value system in Nigeria such that people stop prioritizing the acquisition of wealth, which leads to this, which is one of the reasons that lead to this bad behavior that we've been talking about?
We need to reduce opportunities for corruption. We simply need to reduce opportunities for corruption, which is part of why, government dominating the space of the economy doesn't make any sense at all. The less of the presence of government in things that private sector can interpret the risk and take those risks, the better for us. Because then you reduce the opportunities for people to jump into government because they want to be able to control resources and control decisions. So reduce the opportunities for corruption. Do deregulate economies like the petroleum sector. That's a sector waiting to be overhauled completely. Because when you overhaul that sector and just push a lot of things to the private sector, we wouldn't need to worry ourselves as to what they're doing. They would act in the best interest of their bottom line. And in acting that way, we need to have strong regulatory systems as government to ensure that while they are making their bottom line, they are not. It's not in any way. It's not in any way in any way reducing the social good that is due to citizens, so that the consumer benefit as well as the public interest is not compromised because private sector is making profit. But it would save us the heartache of what we have seen so far in a sector like petroleum. So also many other sectors, including the power sector, where there's been that level of privatization but needs to be better implemented.
In the new dispensation, we hear a lot about change. Is change a destination?
Is change a destination? I think that change can be a destination if it is radical change. Some changes can be too little, too late. And so it keeps you exactly where you were. That's not what we need. We need really comprehensive, significant, radical change. There's nothing about where we are that is impressive. We have done well in certain aspects of life. I mean, look at the fact that, today we're more connected because technology, really took off. So we more or less are part of the beneficiaries of this global disruption in the technology space. So that's great. We have done well in the fact that if you looked at the number of women who have had equal opportunity at education, and therefore each time I see vibrant Nigerian women with their voice very strong, with leadership skills, I am excited. So we're showing that both our males and our females can become. That's great.